Okay, this is one of my 2 series I want to do. I'm going to post 3 videos on this and 3 videos on the other one starting right now, because I missed my Deku Mart thing. So today will be Deku what ifs instead of all these Naruto what ifs I've been doing. So yeah, this is what if Deku had Crystal. The other one will be what if Deku had King's Power. Got it. So this ability would be able to, it'll pretty much be like a Loyo type fruit from Hunter Hunter, or not Hunter Hunter, but One Piece. Which what it gives him the ability is to either turn himself into crystals on will. If he doesn't and he gets hurt, then he won't be able to, he's able to pair it up with crystals and turn him back. But he's able to break, but he can come back together pretty much. He's a Logio type. And he's able to create crystals around everybody, around the air. Anything he touches. So, wherever Deku's born, he seems to be born normally, but like I said, it is a Logio type. And Logio types are kind of like, they're more like transformations if you actually think about it. Because Paramecia types are mutation types, because it permanently changes your body. So it will be considered a transformation quirk / mutation. He'll be born with this quirk. So he's born, he seems normal, but I'll say one of the doctors that helped him his mother give birth to him had the ability to tell what quirk somebody had. And he says to the mother that seems your baby has been born with this quirk. And his quirk is called crystallization, or crystal making. It says crystallization and crystal making. And she guessed what it can do. He gives a description that one part of his quirk is able to let him create weapons out of crystals. And crystallization gives him the ability to either change his body into crystals or create crystals around him. And she's like, really? My baby has such a strong quirk. But this is rare to get a totally different quirk than your mother and father and all that. But since he is born with this quirk, he has been told from his mother to help him control it and all that, and bring him to the hospital to control it, where he doesn't just activate his quirk randomly. Which he seems to have perfect control of his quirk whenever he gets older. Because of that, she doesn't bring him there. And our doctors ask why I say, and she says that the child seems to have a perfect knack for his quirk. Like he had it for, or like he's been using it for a long time. But he goes to kindergarten, and never said if he knew Bakio before kindergarten, or it just said that his families were friends, but I say they didn't meet each other. It's the first day of kindergarten, and I'll say it's a week before everybody gains their quirk. That's when he comes up to the front of the class saying that I already have my quirk. And Baku's like saying, really? Really? Do you actually? That's whenever he explains the quirk. It's called crystallization. And explains the features of it, saying that I can either make, I say him sticking on his hand, making an All Might doll made out of crystals. Either I can make stuff out of crystals, and this is when you see his hair start crystallizing, or I can turn my body into crystals, or tapping the floor, or I can spread crystals around everywhere. People are like, wow, really? Hope my quirk is as cool as yours, and stuff like that. Week later, Bakugo has a explosion quirk. Bakugo thinks that his quirk is stronger than Deku's, which it's not. But Deku knows that he trains his body because he knows that just because he has a strong quirk, he he can't just beat anybody. You know that? Because he says something about All Might, where All Might has an enhancement quirk, but it seems like his body's really buff. And he thinks that's because he wants to be known as people think he's strong. So, Deku has a pretty good build whenever he's older, but I'll say Bakugo tries to challenge him. But Bakugo loses by Deku pretty much tapping him on the forehead, running up to him, tapping him, and crystallizing his whole body. Which he can pretty much ground the crystals into dust by touching them, which can be used as a lethal cutting weapon and all that. But yeah. And watch, these crystals are airborne. He can pretty much manipulate it in the air. All of his weapons. I forgot to say that. I'll say some theories say that's probably one part of his mother quirks actually got into him that gave him the ability to control it to such a high degree in the air. But yeah, I'll say they don't go to the same middle school. I'll say he goes to the same middle school with Kuroshima and Mina. When he gets there, he's the first year, of course, with them. He walks in and explains his quirk. Which, if you guys think about it, Kuroshima upgraded his quirk so well to only barely harden his body, to harden it to enough to take on, like, bullets. Which, that's really great progress in my mind. Because, like, if he can barely harden the skin, then he can harden it so well that it can block bullets and all that. So, yeah. He gets there, he explains his quirk. Kuroshima goes up there and says that my quirk's not really that special. Or say they just go around explaining the quirks. And they say he can barely harden his body. That's when Deku, like, shows him this thing where he, like, hardens his skin into crystals, saying that I can also harden my body. But also, I'll say, him touching his arm by squeezing it, and it completely gets destroyed, saying that I can also reform my body whenever I'm in this mode. Saying that I'm about invincible, but it does take stamina to keep myself up. With people also asking him why he's so built, because he's over here looking like Mirio. He explains that I do have a strong quirk, but every quirk has to run off something. I can spam on my moves well, but if I get hurt in this form, it takes me a lot of stamina just to regenerate, and I'm also learning hand-to-hand combat and stuff like that. Kuroshima thinks he's brave, and I'll say, instead of Kuroshima getting scared at third year, I'll say it's first year. Well, some dude on the streets picking on the same girls from the school with him, and Deku walked to the home because they're friends at the beginning of school. And that's when he sees Deku walk up to the villain, and the villain's like, "Hey, do you know this place?" And he asked the villain to walk with him, and he asks him, "Is he villain?" That's when he says, "So what if I am? What you gonna do?" That's when you see him tapping in the chest, and that's when he says that I'll capture you, with a huge bunch of crystals appearing around him. And Deku is strong enough to pick it up, even though he's like a 11-foot dude. And he picks him up because that's how strong he is. Because Mirio's strong enough to hurt Kuroshima with his hardening and all that. But I'll just say he's super strong and all that. And his muscles don't work the same because they can regenerate instantly, which also causes him to become stronger faster than most people, because he'll just regrow his muscles instantly with him hardening it. So this is also going to be my hardening quirk one. Or I might make another one and I'll call him the Rock Dragon. I'll call him. Or I could just call him the Steel Dragon, either one. But it would be a little different and all that. But yeah. That's when Kirishima gets the will to train. Say about next year, his hardened level is about the same whenever they're at the whole, that little part of the school, the whole attack in the training art in the forest. And people say that you upgrade your quirk so high in such a little amount of time and stuff like that. While Deku's trying to find other ways to use his quirk. And he just comes up with the crystallization in the air. And he also creates butterfly, he calls it. Pretty much making a flower in the air. Or a flower with the crystal flower. And this will cause people to get cut all over. But yeah, I'll say they train a little bit with Deku being stronger physically. Because he is superhuman because of his regeneration. As we see Bond get way stronger than most people with his regeneration. Is how I think Bond got so strong. In my mind. So, I'll say I'll put him at a level to throw smashes. Enough to disperse a sludge villain. So they're running. They're going down. This is when they run into the sludge villain in this area. With Deku punching, sending a shockwave, dispersing the villain, with All Might coming over here and asking what Deku's quirk is. And he says it must be an enhancement, pretty strong one. That's when he says, no, no, no. But my quirk is the reason why I'm so strong. He explains his quirk and explains how he got so strong that whenever you work out and tear your muscles and you like rest them and they heal and you get stronger. He's saying that I can harden my skin, as we've seen Kirishima do, and heal himself. Or harden his muscles and heal himself. Not completely sure. Sorry about that, we have a missing kid apparently. And All Might's suppressed. And Kirishima's level of hardening is unbreakable for. But beyond that, like he figured out how to regenerate his bones and all that. With hardening from Deku. So Kirishima can heal his wounds by hardening it. And eventually does heal, but it's not as fast as Deku's. I'll say that. So he got his unbreakable form as his base. And his other form, his stronger form of his, he calls it his Crimson Riot form, to pay tribute to his favorite hero. And I'll say this causes his hair to turn crimson automatically because I want it to. But yeah, this causes his hair to turn crimson. But he does this in him to get even harder. And this I'm gonna leave it off.